Green Hills Insurance, LLC of Bethany is a locally owned and operated independent insurance agency providing coverage since 1996. They're licensed to operate in Missouri, Iowa, and Kansas, offering competitive rates with top carriers. They can insure a wide variety of risks, including home, farm, auto, boats, RVs, equipment, business owners, commercial buildings, bonds, and more. Located on the south side of the square in Bethany, stop by or give them a call at 660-425-7900. At Green Hills Insurance, if you need it insured, they've got you covered. Harrison County Community Hospital, your trusted hometown healthcare provider. We're here for you with a 24-hour emergency department, inpatient and outpatient care, and a full range of health services. Our primary care clinics in Bethany, Eagleville, and Pattonsburg are here to meet your everyday health needs. And we're growing with you. Soon we'll open our brand new state-of-the-art hospital. At Harrison County Community Hospital, you'll find compassionate, dependable care. Nowhere are you more important than right here.
All right, welcome into another one of our Sports Central interviews brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital, joined by South Harrison varsity boys coach Aaron Fitzpatrick. And so, Coach, I want to bring up the last two games we haven't covered. So you played Albany last regular season home game here, and it was a game that was going to be a good matchup, evenly matched as far as you look at common opponents and points per game, those things, and you end up getting the win there. And it really kind of became almost a war of attrition in that game with some guys fouling out on both sides.
Yeah, I was, Albany's, they're a scrappy team. You know, they play hard on defense. They're pretty good at running their stuff on offense. And, yeah, you mentioned a war of attrition. I think we had a guy foul out. They had a guy foul out. But, yeah, it was a physical game. It was a game that, like you said, both teams were fairly evenly matched. And, you know, both teams are pretty guard heavy, so kind of similar, and they played some similar opponents. So, yeah, it was an interesting matchup for sure. And I thought our guys did a really good job that night, just kind of controlling the pace of the game. You know, Albany kind of likes to play. I say one of the differences, they kind of like to play a slower pace, and we kind of like to play a little quicker pace. So I thought we were able to kind of get out and speed them up just a little bit, make them uncomfortable at times. I thought our guys did a really good job of that. And, you know, you mentioned when you get kids in foul trouble, that changes things. And I thought our guys did a good job, getting the Worrell kid in foul trouble and kind of getting him to the bench at times, because he's a really important part of their team. He does a lot of really good things. So I thought our kids did a really good job just doing what we needed to do as far as controlling the pace, controlling the boards. And I thought we did a pretty good job running our offense that night. So I was pretty pleased with it, especially going against a team that's pretty solid, that has put together a pretty nice resume this year.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, Coach, we kind of talked about it prior to your game last night versus Plattsburgh. You and Luke and Peyton, your coaching staff, maybe talk about how you handle that when you've got a guy that's in a little bit of foul trouble. Because we talked, and I think Albany has a shorter bench than you guys. I think Coach Cox was willing to roll the dice a little there in the late third, early fourth, just because he felt like he needed to have Dalton Worrell on the floor. And maybe how you try to balance that. Hey, I need this guy on the floor, but I need him to be available throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of situational for us. You know, it's kind of like, and also kind of who we're going against, I suppose. Like, I'll just give you, like, Pack was in a little bit of foul trouble that night. And we've had guys at various times this season in foul trouble. So ours is kind of situational. So if we're playing a team that's kind of guard heavy and kind of puts pressure on, and we need an additional ball handler out there with Jet, sometimes we're a little more hesitant to pull Pack out of key situations, especially kind of score dependent. So if we have a 15-point lead or 10-point lead, we'll take him out, take Pack out, or whoever that is, we'll take him out, while we have a lead, and we're not trying to play catch up, or we're not trying to, it's not a close game, or it's not a super couple possession game, so it's kind of score dependent and opponent dependent, and if we're playing a Putnam County, we just played them last week. If we're playing a Putnam County who's kind of big, heavy, they kind of run their offense through their bigs, and we need, a Trevor Henry on the floor for a longer period of time. We kind of go about it situationally and score-wise, and kind of the opponent we're playing, depending on what we need on the floor at that particular time. So it's kind of twofold.
And so you get that win last home regular season game. The good thing is, and we'll talk about here when we talk about districts, you're going to be home for districts. But then you go on the road last night down to Plattsburgh team, KCI. Their record they've been in some games, and so you knew it was going to be a game. Number one, you're there, their last home regular season game. Um, you get out to a pretty good start, and then they make a run to come back and kind of make that a ball game there in the second quarter, and you were able to pull away and just maybe talk about that game and how it ended up going.
Yeah, I thought we got off to a really great start. I think we jumped out. We were at 12, 13 point lead fairly early. I think we scored 18 points in the first quarter, so we got off to a really good start. And then about early second quarter, we just kind of had about 4 or 5 possessions in a row where we did a really good job playing at a quick pace. I mentioned that probably in every interview, and that's something that we try to do really well is just control the pace of the game. Not play faster than we want to, not play slower than we really want to. And I thought we did a great job of that. We hit some shots early in the game, obviously that helps your confidence a little bit. But as we got into the second quarter, it was kind of we were playing at a quick pace, but then it was almost like we were rushing shots and we were kind of settling for some not great shots. We kind of settled for a couple quick threes that missed, and they come down and got a couple buckets, and then we're kind of scrambling. And I really debated about calling a timeout about that stretch. And I probably should have called one about maybe 3 possessions earlier, but I kind of wanted them to just kind of work themselves out of that, try to get to a place of, hey, let's get a better possession here instead of like coming down and jacking up a quick three or something like that, taking a bad shot, a contested, 2 or 3 guys on you type of layup around the basket or something. But we just kind of got in that game where where it was like quick possessions and we didn't get great shots and they weren't going in. So that allowed them Plattsburgh, and they got a couple turnovers in there too. So it allowed them to get back in that game. But our guys did a good job rallying. We called a timeout, kind of got regrouped, and was able to extend that lead, going into half.
And so then I thought last night, and I was talking to some of the other fans from South Harrison, the last, I don't know, maybe month or so of the season, you guys are playing such great team basketball. You obviously still have your leader in Jet Cornett. He didn't have a huge scoring night last night. He got his points where they were available. But your guys' ability to, I thought, share the ball, especially getting to the basket, getting to the rim, has really improved. And I thought it was a big part of you guys extending that lead out last night versus Plattsburgh.
Yeah, for sure. That's been a huge part of our. That's been a huge part of like our practices, a huge part of our emphasis. Hey, let's just regardless of the situation, let's just go try to make the right basketball play. And if you're driving and you're attacking the rim, obviously that's what we're wanting to do because we got guys who can penetrate, but we also have guys who can shoot it. So if you get in the paint, you see an extra defender coming in, a help side defender, a weak side defender. Let's get that ball out to the open guy, regardless of who it is. Let's try to make the right basketball play. So our guys, like you mentioned, I think over the last month, our guys have done a really good job of that, just being unselfish. I think the timing of our cuts and the timing of our just the different intricacies of the offense has gotten better. Yeah, as we've got to this later part of the season. I just like the way we're sharing the basketball and the percentages of time that we're making the right basketball play over the last month has increased since the beginning of the season. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, so you end up with 2 wins in a row there. The last home game, last game on the road regular season. Now you get districts. You get the opportunity to be at home for districts. On the boys' side, girls will be down at Lathrop. But I'm looking here at the district, and I think the amazing thing, and I had one of your players actually. I'm teaching today. One of your players asked me, "How do you think we can do at districts?" There are some good teams there, but there is no dominant team in that district. You look at it, there's some teams like at Lathrop that's only won 1 game all season. Brookfield and Trenton with losing records. Lawson with the losing record, but again, KCI they're a team that can play. You and Carrollton really the only 2 with those winning records. And how do you approach that going like, hey, this is a winnable district with the team that probably most people coming into the season thought, oh, they may have a good season, but they probably won't go very far in the postseason.
Yeah, just trying to prepare the best we can. We're familiar. We've played everybody in the district, excluding Lathrop and Carrollton. So we're kind of familiar with the opponents that we've played. And we've played some of them. Semi recently. We just played Lawson, who's on our same side of the bracket. We just played them just a few weeks ago. So we got some familiar opponents. So the way we're preparing is just, hey, let's get in and like watch as much film as we can, try to be as familiar as we can with the opponent that we're getting ready to play. And a big thing for us is just go out there and try to be us. Like let's control the pace. Kind of what our identity is. And that's what we try to give our kids. Like, what's our identity? How are we going to play coming down the stretch here? We're going to be unselfish. We're going to play at a quick pace. We're going to get out and we're going to defend. So really, it's just like, hey, let's just try to go out and execute South Harrison Bulldog basketball as best we can. And the results will kind of add up where they add up. But our guys have done a pretty good job of that this year. Just not, we haven't really been. I'll say we haven't had teams a lot like change our strategy a lot. Like, we kind of play a quick pace, and we've done a really good job controlling the pace throughout the season. We've done a good job defending. I think we can kind of defend all 5 spots. So I kind of like it. We just got to be you kind of got to be us as we go forward.
Yeah, and so you look at the bracket here, and obviously you guys get the bye. You're the 2 seed. You don't know who you're going to play. Lathrop, though, with only the 1 win, presumably you'll see Lawson again, a team you've already seen. And again, I know you're a coach, right? We're putting this out. You can't, you don't want to count your chickens before they're hatched, but I would assume you're probably putting more of your game planning with your staff into seeing Lawson over Lathrop, and getting that bye gives you a little bit of a break, little rest. And how do you approach maybe seeing a team that you've already played and went down there and got the win versus Lawson?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to turn over every rock. Like, what did or if it is Lawson or if it is Lathrop, just trying to turn over every rock and being like, hey, what do they do well that we can take away, and what do we do well that they're probably going to try to take away. So just trying to turn over every rock, kind of be prepared for every situation, or at least to the best of our ability anyway. But also understanding, like, kind of self-scouting, what do we do well that we can try to, do as much as possible, so it's just like every day coming to practice, hey, let's get better today, and let's just worry about today. And then whoever we play is whoever we play. We'll try to do our best to be prepared for them. But the thing about the postseason is there's some added pressure there. It's you win or you go home. So it's like the team that can remain the calmest, the team that can kind of get over those nerves early in the game is probably going to be the team that's successful. So we've tried to put them in situations throughout the year where we played some close games, where we've kind of been in every situation where we've had to come from behind, where we've had to play from ahead, where we've had to kind of close a lead late, try to hold on to a lead late. So I'm really comfortable with where we've been throughout the season. Just try to prepare us for this this moment the next week coming up.
All right, and you get a chance to play at home. Bulldog Sports TV, will have it on Misha TV, so it won't be on Facebook or YouTube, but we'll be broadcasting actually every game of the district since South Harrison is hosting it. But obviously, we'll be there for the Bulldogs for as long as you go. So we'll follow you guys past districts, and we're believing you and the girls. I talked to Coach Kel Watson earlier that you guys will both advance, and we can follow you, and the South Harrison fans can follow you. Coach, thanks again for your time, and good luck next week in district play.
Hey, thanks, CF. I appreciate the coverage throughout the year, man. It's been fun. I enjoy doing these interviews with you. I want to give a quick shout out. You mentioned the girls team; they're going to be playing districts, so good luck to them. I want to give a quick shout out to the wrestlers too, because they got districts. I think tonight and tomorrow. So good luck to the wrestlers also, and hopefully we see some success, in this postseason time for South Harrison sports.
All right, thanks again, Coach.
Thanks, CF. We'll talk to you later.